Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is going to be the first video on this channel, so welcome. And before starting, before getting into the main idea of the video, I would like to take a few minutes and explain the reason for this channel, right? Explain the premise and what this channel is going to be about. So if you're interested in this, great. If not, I will be leaving a timestamp on the screen or uh, in the timeline, and you'll be able to skip forward, so you don't actually have to listen to me talking about why I'm making this channel if you're not interested. So, for those of you who are going to stay through this, thank you. And yeah, let me give you some context. So, the main idea is for me to kind of get better at social talking and talking to an audience, right? I know that right now the audience is still small, but um, actually there is none right now. So, um, but I want to get better and improve. So the whole idea is that I'm only going to do one take for each audio session that I record or each idea that I record, and I'm going to make as few cuts as possible. So I'll only make cuts if I do something that like maybe take a huge pause or I don't know, some audio disturbance, right? And it's going to be annoying for you. So that's the only way that I will. That's the only reason I will make any adjustments or any edits in the video. Otherwise, it's just going to be a one take um, kind of stuff, and I'm going to do one single take and as few cuts as possible. Also, if of course like there's going to be any background noise or anything that's like um, too disturbing or too annoying, I will cut around it and just replace that those few seconds, with another audio clip, just so it's not too annoying to you guys, the viewers. Um, but yeah, the whole idea of this channel is about me getting better and also about pretty much putting my thoughts and ideas out there. I kind of got really sick of being just a consumer of content, right? I've always wanted to be a producer. It's just I've always cringed at myself, and I've not really been what's it called? Not really been confident enough in myself, right, to actually make something. But now I've kind of decided that enough is enough, right? And I can't live like this anymore. Like I have to kind of start chasing my dreams and start doing stuff. Um, yeah, and this channel isn't meant to be, my way to fame or my way to money or anything like that. It's just meant to fulfill me a little bit, right? Just do something that I like. Pretty much use it as a hobby. Um, just and just talk about my thoughts, my experiences, my opinions about stuff, or like opinions about um different subjects, right? I mostly want to talk about uh, the thoughts that I've encountered and the thoughts that I've that came to mind, right, in different days, or thoughts that I've had, right, and just uh, kind of delve deeper into them and get a better understanding of what these ideas that I have, these opinions, this view on life that I have. So I'm pretty much going to be sharing my view on life and view on things, and mostly view on like philosophical stuff with you guys. Um, so yeah, it's just if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then I think this channel could end up being um a nice way for you to get like what 20-25 minutes of a break, right, and just listen to a stranger yapping about his ideas on the internet, right? So yeah, just I think I've pretty much explained everything that I wanted to explain. I said that it's going to be a one take only uh, channel, and I'm going to be talking about my thoughts and ideas. Um, so yeah, the first topic I actually wanted to get into today is uh, is just a thought that I've actually had yesterday. That's actually the reason why I'm starting this channel, is because this thought I I was just making my bed to settle in for the night, and then I um started thinking because I had nothing else to do. I was really bored, and I just automatically started thinking, and just something came to mind, right? And I started just piecing it out, right, and understanding what my whole idea is. And then I had this thought, like, why am I not talking about this? Why am I not putting this out there? Why would I not, you know, actually make something of this? Because I love talking about different topics, and topics that I've never even heard of, just not even giving my opinion, because I don't really have opinions on topics I've never heard of. But the idea is that I like engaging in different conversations, right? I love engaging in different conversations about different topics, about any topic really, as long as it's respectful, and um, as long as the person who I'm talking to is respectful and isn't trying to, um, yeah, just kind of, right, take control of the conversation and stuff. I think you get the point, right? Um, so yeah, the what occurred to me is that genuinely, when you really think about it, right, it's not even that you really have to think about it, but when you just break it down to its core context, right, nothing really matters except your own opinions and your own self, right? So by own self, I mean everything, right, from your um physical body, physical look, right, to everything that's inside you, inside of your brain, right? So everything, all of your thoughts, your opinions, your memories, secrets, whatever it might be, right? So I mean genuinely everything. So my point is, my the thing I the the thing I wanted to talk about, right, is that, in my opinion, at the end of the day, nothing really matters, right? So what do I mean by that? Of course, to you, right, different um different people, right, your friends, your family, God, whatever, right, matters to you, right? These things matter to us in some sort of way. But when you really break it down, nothing really should matter, right? Everything else except your own beliefs, your own attitudes, your own opinions are just noise, right? So, for example, if you want to do something, you have a dream, right? Is it if and your parents, right? So I'm sure you've had dreams in the past which your parents said that, oh, these are stupid, or friends said that these are stupid, or maybe not in such an aggressive way, right? But maybe they just um showed that they don't really believe in you, and in some sort of way, right? Whatever way that might be, right? Um, and at the end of the day, that's just noise. We do care about their opinions, but why, right? It's like, why do we care about their opinions? It's like, oh, because they're our parents, right? They know what's best. Oh, they're our friends. They want what's best for us. But do they really? Like, of course, I'm not saying that. Oh, if you have an impulse to, I don't know, do drugs, for example, right, or whatever, right? And your friends say that, look, this isn't good for you, this isn't, your parents say that no, this isn't good for you, right? You should seek help and stuff, right? That's logical. I'm not talking about irrational stuff, like stuff that we clearly and knowingly understand that is bad and we still engage with it, right? That, um, to some extent, right, is helpful, right? If you engage with drugs too much or with alcohol too much or whatever, right, and your friends tell you, look, you're way overdoing it, right? So just take a break. Um, of course, of course, they're doing us a favor, right? They're keeping us in check. It's good for us, but I'm mostly talking about the rational stuff, right? The things that you dream of. You're maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't even have to be rational in a way, right? Maybe some people's dreams are to be a shepherd. I don't know, right? That seems like a peaceful life. I can definitely see some people wanting to do that. I definitely know that people want to be shepherds, right? Very small minority, but um, people do want to be shepherds. So some people do want to be shepherds, right? And from any point of view you approach this, right? It's mostly irrational. Why? Because what what kind of life will you have, right? Being a shepherd, you won't really, well, I guess you kind of will be able to feed yourself, right? But it's going to be a hard life, difficult life, mostly living outside, and your only like way of survival, right? Your way of life is going to be these sheep. But at the end of the day, there is beauty in that, right? And here's where my definition of a good life, right, and how I think a good life should be interpreted by most people, and how I think it is the right way, right, to interpret a good life, and where most people make mistakes. It's not about being rational. It's not about, you know, doing what's rational. I think a good definition of a good life is if you try your best to live up to your own expectations of a good life. I think as long as you really, really put effort into achieving your goals, achieving your definition of a good life, right? Then you've had a good life and you're living a good life. Because at the end of the day, nobody can take your dreams away. Nobody can take your goals away, right? Except yourself. And all this noise, all these people around you telling you that, oh, your dreams are this, your dreams are that, right? You should try something else. I think at the end of the day, that's just, as I've said, noise, and you can take it into account, but you have to realize that this noise, and you have to realize that it mostly doesn't really matter. Really, what really matters is you, right, and your own dreams, your own desires, your own ideas of a good life, right? Now, by no means am I saying that if you want to chase, I don't know, hedonistic goals, right? You want to chase wealth, you want to chase external validation to some extent, like just wealth and money and all that stuff, right? That I don't think that's really what you want. I don't think that's really the core idea of what you need. For example, right, if you want wealth, in most cases you'll just want freedom, and you can accomplish freedom multiple ways, right? For example, if I've always said this, I've always thought this, right? But if there's two ways to achieve true freedom and true time freedom, true financial freedom, right? You either have everything, right, and you have financial freedom because you can afford everything, or you have nothing, and then you can't afford anything, and then you're free because you don't have loans, you don't have a house, you don't have whatever, right? You don't have any financial responsibilities, right? And you're still free. So it's just that part in the middle that's where you're stuck, right? You don't have enough to achieve everything, to buy everything, or to buy most of the things, right, you want. But you also have responsibilities, so you're stuck in this loop where you have to make money, but yet you don't make enough money to really enjoy it. Um, so the idea is this, right? You you want to chase freedom at the end of the day, right? It's not wealth, it's not whatever else, it's the core idea, right? And that's what I mean, right? Living up to your idea of freedom, living up to your core idea, right? You just have to identify what it is. You can't say that, oh, I want money, I want to live to be rich, right? That's not really what you want. I don't think so. I don't think that's really what you desire. I don't think that's really what your true core idea of what you want is, right? Again, it doesn't really have to be freedom. It could be anything else, right? Maybe you want to give to people, right? You want to share your money, your wealth with people, be it strangers, be it friends, family, whoever, right? But I think at the end of the day, the idea is this, right? Most external and materialistic goals and, so to say, dreams that you have are not um, actually those that you think they are, right? They have a deeper, more intrinsic value, so to say, right? Of course, you could have like intrinsic values, for example, right? Changing the world. That's still right. It's not only about yourself, right? For example, being a shepherd, even, right? You will end up caring about those sheep more than anything, right? Because it's your way of life, your way of survival. You need them, right? And you will end up caring about them. So I'm not saying that all um, everything you have to do and everything you have to think about, right, should be intrinsic. I'm just saying that the core idea is intrinsic. The core idea, for example, I want to be a shepherd. That's intrinsic. No, it's not external, right? Maybe was influenced, right, by some cartoons, some movies, some whatever, right? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you internalize it. Now it's your own opinion. It's your own dream, and nobody can really take that away from you. You could, if you really want to be a shepherd, you could let yourself be influenced, right, by other people telling you that, oh no, this isn't going to lead you to having a good life or whatever, right? But you'll never really, I don't think, I truly believe that you'll never really I don't really think you'll ever quite sit right with the idea that yeah, I never tried being a shepherd, right? If you let other people influence you, then I don't think you'll ever quite sit right with the idea that, oh, I didn't try this, maybe I should have, right? It will always linger in your mind. It'll always be just, maybe I should have done that, maybe I would have liked it, maybe, right? So the core idea here, from the past 10 minutes of talking, right, I really believe that living a good life is not about achieving your dreams. It's more about trying as hard as possible to achieve those dreams. I don't think in the end it matters if you achieve those dreams or not, but the core idea is, if you genuinely identify your, like, dreams, your real dreams, right? Not those materialistic things I've mentioned before. It's just like those core ideas. I think if you find out what those are and you truly take out all of the noise, take out all of the stuff that's lingering around you and that you don't need, and as I've mentioned before, you really don't need anything except you and your own self, right? In my opinion, at least. So if you take out all the noise and just follow your dreams, chase them as hard as possible, work as hard as possible to achieve those dreams, in the end, I think you'll be more than happy that with the life you've lived. Because once again, according to myself and myself only, right, I think a good definition of a great life is chasing your own definition, right, or working as hard as possible to fulfill your own definition of a good life and your own dreams. And I really don't think that achieving those dreams is important, or as important as you might think. I think just going after them and constantly trying and constantly doing what you want to do, right? Working towards those long-term goals, working towards having a good life by your own definition. I think that's what really life is about, right? You just take a few things you like, take a few things you want to do, and then you go as hard as possible to achieve them, to accomplish them. And once you do, you find a few other things, right, you want to do. Then you go after them. But some things you might never achieve, right? But you, as long as you still keep going, still keep chasing them, still keep working towards them, I think that in the end that will lead to you thinking that you have a good life. You've had a good life, right? And I think that's very important to all of us for some reason, to try to have a good life. But some people are just, they just balance comfort with having a good life, right? So they don't really have a good life, but at the same time they're kind of comfortable with their own selves, so they don't really need to change. But this is just, things that have been talked about by different people so many times over that it's kind of unnecessary for me to go over it again. But yeah, this is kind of the thought that I had yesterday, and I wanted to share with you guys, right? So yeah, in the end, just I think that the definition I gave to the definition for a good life that I gave, I think I'm really proud of it. I'm not saying this is the most philosophical thing ever or anything like that. I'm just saying that I think it's a good encapsulation of what a good life should really be like, right? So yeah, so the key takeaway I think from this this video I think would be that go out there and don't listen to all of the noise, don't take into account all of the noise, or take it into account and filter it very, very carefully, right? So realize what's important and what's not, and then just chase your own dreams, man. Like it's just as easy as that, but it's way more complicated than I'm making it out to be. But it's also easier than people think, right? It's easier than some people might think, most people might think, but it's harder than I'm saying it, right? I realize that, oh, just chase your dreams, but who isn't trying to do that, right? But it's not as easy as it seems. But I think as long as you keep moving forward, you'll be fine. Yeah. So that's about it for today. If you have anything, right, any ideas, any thoughts, I would love for you to engage with, right, in the comment section with this video, right? We could start some like threads, right? Some discussions in the comment section. I'm always open to new opinions, and I would love to listen to what you guys had to say or have to say about my thoughts and my ideas, right? If you have any criticism, if you have anything to add to it, right, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. And yeah, if you enjoyed this this video, I would greatly appreciate if you would look forward or watch my next one, right? Because a next one is definitely coming. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, thank you, and see you next time.